Genesis chapter 47. Then Joseph came and informed Pharaoh, "My father and my brothers and their flocks and their cattle and everything that belongs to them have come from the land of Canaan, and behold, they are in the land of Goshen." From among his brothers he took 5 men and presented them before Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to his brothers, "What is your occupation?" So they said to Pharaoh, "Your servants are shepherds, both we and our fathers." Then they said to Pharaoh, "We came to dwell temporarily in the land, since there is no pasture for the flocks that belong to your servants, for the famine is severe in the land of Canaan. So now please let your servants live in the land of Goshen." Pharaoh said to Joseph, saying, "Your father and your brothers came to you. The land of Egypt is before you. Settle your father and your brothers in the best part of the land. Let them live in the land of Goshen. If you know of any capable men among them, make them overseers of the livestock over those that are mine." When Joseph brought his father Jacob and presented him before Pharaoh, and Jacob blessed Pharaoh. Pharaoh asked Jacob, "How many days are the years of your life?" Jacob said to Pharaoh, "The days of the years of my sojourn are 130 years. Few and evil have been the days of the years of my life. Moreover, the days of the years of my life have not attained the days of the years of the lives of my fathers in the days of their sojourn." And Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out from Pharaoh's presence. Joseph settled his father and his brothers and gave them property in the land of Egypt, in the best part of the land, in the land of Ramesses, just as Pharaoh commanded. And Joseph supported his father and his brothers and his father's entire household with food for the mouths of the little ones. Now there was no food in all the land because the famine was very severe. Both the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan languished because of the famine. Joseph collected all the money that could be found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the grain that they bought, and Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. Then the money of the land of Egypt and of all of the land of Canaan ran out, and all of Egypt came to Joseph, saying, "Give us food. Why should we die in front of you? Because the money is gone." Joseph said, "Give your livestock, and I'll give it to you for your livestock, if the money is gone." So they brought their livestock to Joseph, and Joseph gave them food in exchange for horses, for flocks of sheep, for herds of cattle, and for donkeys. He provided them with food in exchange for all their livestock that year. When the year came to an end, they came to him in the second year and said to him, "We won't hide from my lord that this money has run out, and the livestock and the domestic animals are my lord's. There is nothing left in my lord's sight except our bodies and our land. Why should we die before your eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for food, and we and our land will become Pharaoh's slaves. Provide seed so that we may live and not die, and the land won't be deserted." So Joseph brought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, because the Egyptians, each one sold his field, for the famine overcame them. Thus the land became Pharaoh's. He made the people slaves from one end of Egypt's border to the other. Only he did not buy the land belonging to the priests, because the priests had an allotment from Pharaoh, and they ate their allotment that Pharaoh gave them. Therefore they did not sell their land. Then Joseph said to the people, "Behold, I have brought you and your land today for Pharaoh. Here is seed for you, so that you can sow the land. During the harvest you must give a fifth part to Pharaoh, and 4/5 will be for you, for seed, for the field, and for your food, and for those in your houses, and for food for your little ones." "You've saved our lives," they said. "We find favor in the eyes of my lord, and will be Pharaoh's slaves." So Joseph set it as a statute until this very day concerning the land of Egypt. A fifth part goes to Pharaoh. Only the priest's land did not become Pharaoh's. Meanwhile, Israel settled in the land of Egypt and the land of Goshen, acquired property in it, and were fruitful and multiplied greatly. Now Jacob lived in the land of Egypt for 17 years. So the days of Jacob, the years of his life, were 147 years. As the time of Israel death drew near, he called for his son Joseph and said to him, If I have found favor in your eyes, please put your hand under my thigh and show me faithful kindness. Please do not bury me in Egypt. When I lie down with my fathers, you must carry me out of Egypt and bury me in their burial place. So he said, I myself will do according to your word. Swear to me, he said. So he swore to him. Then Israel bowed down in worship on the head of his staff. Chapter 48. After these things, someone told Joseph, Behold, your father is sick. So he took his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, with him. When someone told Joseph, saying, Behold, your son Joseph has come to you, Israel summoned his strength and sat up in the bed. Then Jacob said to Joseph, El Shaddai appeared to me in Luz in the land of Canaan and blessed me. He said to me, I am going to make you fruitful and multiply you and turn you into an assembly of people, and I will give this land to your seed after you as an everlasting possession. So now your two sons who were born to you in the land of Egypt, before I came to you in Egypt, they are mine. Ephraim and Manasseh will be mine, just like Reuben and Simeon. Any descendant of yours whom you father after them will be yours. They will be identified by the names of their brothers for their inheritance. Now as for me, when I came from Patan, to my sorrow, Rachel died along the way in the land of Canaan. While we were still a distance from entering Ephrath, and I buried her there on the way to Ephrath, that is Bethlehem. Then Israel saw Joseph's sons and said, Who are these? Joseph said to his father, They are my sons, whom God has given me here. Then he said, Please bring them to me, so I may bless them. Now Israel's eyes had grown heavy with old age. He could not see, so he brought them near to them, and he kissed them and hugged them. Then Israel said to Joseph, To see your face I didn't expect, and look, God has let me see your offspring as well. Then Joseph took them from his knees and bowed with his face down to the ground. Then Joseph took the two of them, Ephraim with his right hand across Israel's left, and Manasseh with his left hand across from Israel's right, and brought them close to him. But Israel stretched out his hand and placed it upon Ephraim's head, though he was the younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, crossing his hands, though Manasseh was the firstborn. Then he blessed Joseph and said, Then the God before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac walked, the God who has shepherded me throughout my life to this day, the angel who redeemed me from all evil, may he bless the boys, and may they be called by my name, and by the name of my fathers, Abraham and Isaac, may they multiply to a multitude in the midst of the land. When Joseph saw that his father placed his right hand upon Ephraim's head, it was wrong in his eyes. So he took hold of his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head to Manasseh's head. Joseph said to his father, Not like that, my father, because this one's the firstborn. Put your right hand upon his head. But his father refused and said, I know, my son, I know. He also will become a people, and he will also become great. But his younger brother will become greater than he, and his seed will be the fullness of the nations. Then he blessed them that day, saying, In you shall Israel bless by saying, May God make you like Ephraim and like Manasseh. Thus he put Ephraim before Manasseh. Then Israel said to Joseph, Look, I am about to die, but God will be with you and will bring you back to the land of your fathers. Now I myself give you one portion more than your brothers, that which I took from the land of the Amorites with my sword and my bow. Chapter 49. Yaakov called his sons and said to them, Gather together so that I can tell you what will happen to you in the last days. Be assembled and listen, sons of Jacob, and listen to Israel your father. Reuben, my firstborn are you, my vigor and firstborn of my power, endowed with extra dignity, endowed with extra strength. Like water boiling over you will not have extra, for you got up into your father's bed when you defiled a maid's couch. Simeon and Levi are brothers. Instruments of violence are their knives. In their secret council may my soul not enter. In their contingent may my honor never be united. For in their anger they slew men, and in their self-will they maimed oxen. Cursed be their anger, for it was strong, and their rage, for it was cruel. I will disperse them in Jacob. I will scatter them in Israel. Judah, so you are. Your brothers will praise you. Your hand will be on your enemy's neck. Your father's sons will bow down to you. A lion's cub is Judah. From the prey, my son, you have gone up. He couches, lies down like a lion or like a lioness. Who would rouse him? The scepter will not pass from Judah, not the ruler's staff from between his feet, until he to whom it belongs will come. To him will be the obedience of the peoples, binding his foal to the vine, his donkey's colt to the choice wine. Choice vine, he washes his garments in wine, and in the blood of grapes his robes. His eyes are darker than wine, and his teeth that are whiter than milk. Zebulun will dwell by the seashore and be by the harbor of warships. His distant border reaches Sidon. Issachar is a strong-boned donkey, lying down between two saddlebags. He saw that a good resting place was good, and that the land was pleasant. He leaned his shoulder to bear a burden and become a forced laborer. Dan will judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Let Dan be a serpent beside a road, a viper beside a path, who strikes a horse's heel so that its rider falls backward. For your salvation I wait, Adonai. God, attackers will attack him, but he will attack their heels. Asher, rich is his food. He will provide delicacies fit for a king. Naphtali is a doe let loose. He offers words of beauty. A fruitful son is Joseph, a fruitful son beside a spring. Daughters walk along a wall. The archers were bitter and shot arrows and were hostile towards him. Yet his bow was always filled, and his arms quick moving by the hands of the mighty one of Jacob. From there a shepherd, the stone of Israel, from the God of your father who helps you, and Shaddai who blesses you, with blessings of heavens above, blessings of the deep that lies below, blessings of the breast and womb. The blessings of your father surpass the blessings of the ancient mountains. The desire of the everlasting hills, may they be upon Joseph's head, upon the crown of the one set apart from his brothers. Benjamin is a ravening wolf. In the morning he devours spoils, and in the evening divides plunder. These are the tribes of Israel, 12 in all, and this is what their father spoke to them. He blessed them, each one he blessed with a suitable blessing. Then he charged them and said to them, I am about to be gathered to my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephron the Hittite, in the cave that is in the field of Machpelah, that is next to Mamre in the land of Canaan, the field that Abraham brought from Ephron the Hittite as a property for burial. There they buried Abraham and his wife Sarah. There they buried Isaac and Rebekah, and there I buried Leah. The field was purchased along with the cave in it from the sons of Het. When Yaakov finished commanding his sons, he drew his feet up into the bed. Then he breathed his last and was gathered to his people. Chapter 50. Joseph fell upon his father's face. wept over him, and kissed him. Then Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father. So the physicians embalmed Israel. They took 40 days for him, because that is how long embalming takes. And Egypt wept 70 days. When the days of formal weeping passed, Joseph spoke to Pharaoh's house, saying, if I found favor in your eyes, please say in Pharaoh's ears, my father made me take an oath, saying, behold, I am about to die. In my tomb, which I dug for myself in the land of Canaan, there you must bury me. So now please allow me to go up and bury my father and then return. Pharaoh said, go up and bury your father, just as he made you swear an oath. So Joseph went up to bury his father. And all of Pharaoh's servants, the elders of his household, and all the elders of the land of Egypt went up with him, along with all of Joseph's house, his brothers, and his father's household. Only their children and their lives and their flocks and cattle were left in the land of Goshen. Chariots and horsemen also went up with him. It was a very impressive company. When they came to the threshing floor of the bramble on the other side of the Jordan, they mourned there a very great and solemn lamentation. He observed 7 days of mourning for his father. When the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning ritual at the threshing floor of prickly bush, they said, a solemn mourning ritual. This is for the Egyptians. That is why it is named Abel Mizraim, which is on the other side of the Jordan. So Jacob's sons did for him just as he commanded them. His sons carried him to the land of Canaan and buried him in the cave of the field of Machpelah, the field that Abraham bought as a property for burial from Ephron the Hittite next to Mamre. After burying his father, Joseph returned to Egypt, he and his brothers and all those who went up with him to bury his father. When Joseph's brothers saw that their father had died, they said, maybe Joseph will be hostile towards us and pay us back in full for all the evil we showed him. So they charged Joseph, saying, before his death, your father gave us a command, saying, thus you must say to Joseph, please forgive, I beg you, the transgression of your brothers and their sin because they treated you wrongly. Therefore, please forgive the transgression of the servants of the God of your father. Then Joseph wept when they spoke to him, and his brothers also came and fell down before him and said, behold, we are your slaves. But Joseph said to them, don't be afraid, for am I in the place of God? Yes, you yourselves planned evil against me. God planned it for good, in order to bring about what it is this day, to preserve the lives of many people. So now don't be afraid. I myself will provide food for you and your little ones. So he reassured them, speaking kindly to them. Joseph remained in Egypt, he and his father's household, and Joseph lived 110 years. Joseph saw the third generation of Ephraim's sons. Also the sons of Machir, Manasseh's son, were born upon Joseph's knees. Then Joseph said to his brothers, I'm about to die, but God will surely take notice of you and will bring you up from this land to the land that he swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. Then Joseph made Israel's sons swear an oath, saying, when God takes notice of you, you will bring my bones up from here. So Joseph died at 110 years old, and they embalmed him, and he was placed in a coffin in Egypt.